my name is Colin Dixon, founder and chief analyst at Endscreen Media, and it is the third week of July 2019. A new report from Parks Associates on piracy and password sharing shows that about a quarter of US broadband households is engaged in password sharing or piracy, and it goes further to say that 1 in 5 homes has actually engaged in an activity with a piracy website, a piracy app, or a jailbroken box like a Kodi box. And they see this as a big problem. They say that $9 billion will be lost by the industry this year, and that will balloon to $12.5 billion by 2022, 2023, about 5 years, they said. But interestingly, there was another report from Ampere Analysis that showed something quite different. What the company found was between Q1 2017 and Q1 2019 that in the US, the number of people using a piracy app or website decreased from 9% to 4% over that period. And in fact, they surveyed 10 countries, and they found in all of those 10 countries bar one that piracy had decreased. The one country where it increased, it was pretty low anyway, and that was Denmark. 3% went to 4%. So let's take a closer look at password sharing. Well, most password sharing occurs between family members, but Moffett-Nathanson, they wanted to take a look at how many people outside of the home were using passwords from outside their household, and what they found was that about 14% of Netflix users were using a password outside of their home. They were also found that 11% of Hulu users and 6% of Amazon Prime users were using a password that they'd gotten from somebody outside of their household. But what Moffett-Nathanson did was try to somehow tie this to usage at the sites. What they found was that about 40% of people using Netflix and Hulu use that service on a daily basis, and only 22% of Amazon Prime do. And they somehow were trying to tie that to the rate of password sharing. But I don't think that's the case at all with that issue. It's very simple with Amazon Prime. People do not want to share their Amazon Prime password because people can buy stuff in the store, and they don't want even family members running up their credit card. So there's a very simple explanation for this. However, Moffett-Nathanson do say something which I think is very interesting. They say, of course, password sharing is a problem, but they say it's also an opportunity. And I think that that's absolutely true. Netflix, for example, when I called to ask what to do about my mother-in-law who wasn't living under my roof, they just told me to share the password. And Richard Plepler, who was the CEO of HBO, he said that password sharing wasn't a problem, and actually it could be a good thing because it exposed consumers to HBO content. So I think the jury is really out on whether password sharing is a problem or not. But what do we make of this contradictory data between Ampere and between Parks Associates? Well, I've got to tell you, it is very, very difficult to ask people about activities that are illegal. They're very inclined to not tell you the truth, even if you reassure them that they won't be exposed, that you won't tell anybody. That it doesn't matter. They won't give you a really hard answer, a solid, clear, truthful answer to the question. So I think that explains why you see such a big difference between Parks data and Ampere Analysis data. I will tell you, piracy is a serious issue, and we do need to apply ourselves to it, but the numbers you see attached to it harming the industry, I would really take those with a grain of salt. They often assume that a pirated movie is a lost sale, and I don't think that that is the case at all. And in fact, Brett Sappington at Parks, he says that most pirates already have at least one OTT service. They subscribe to one OTT service. What's happening with them is that when they come up against a movie that they want to see and they can't find in the services that they have, that's when they go hunting, and that's when they end up at piracy sites. Now, there is a lot we can do about that, and we are already doing it. And Brett Sappington, again, he urges the industry to consider providing more content outside of the paywall, ad supported. And I can't tell you how much I agree with that statement. I think freemium, this idea of offering ad-supported content and a subscription tier without ads, is a great model. It helps build your funnel, but it also will help decrease piracy, because why would somebody search any further than your site if they find the content they watch, if they have to watch ads too? Well, some may, but the majority will just watch it with ads if they really didn't want to pay for it. It's about access. It's not about watching, I think, ad-free mostly. It's about just being able to find the content that you want. Now, if you want to learn much more about the piracy and password sharing issues, then you should go to piracymonitor.org, a new site from my good friend Steve Hawley. Lots of information there, and he'll be on top of it 100%, I'm sure, over the next few months and years. Or, of course, you can continue to come to Endscreen Media and listen to Endscreen Noise. We'll see you again next time.